Hello, Southbridge. This is Denise Clemence from Southbridge Community Television, coming to you today from 153 Chestnut Street, home to the wonderful Southbridge Community Center, and home to the Cops and Kids program. Today, we have a special guest with us, Deputy Chief Jose Dingui. Thank you for being with us today, and we are excited to learn all about the Cops and Kids program here in Southbridge.
Thank you for having me, Denise.
So can you just bring the community up to speed? Many people know about this program, but I think so many people do not. And we really, we need to know more about this very, very important program here in Southbridge.
Yes, the Cops and Kids program has a very lengthy history. Even when I started back in 1997, we started to do a basketball program after school and at night, and also Cops and Kids dances that were run by Officer Jesus Rosa. When as a rookie, I started working as a school resource officer and all that, and I saw the need for the program to be extended during the summer and possibly more basketball and more life skills and other resources to the program. So, you know, from there, we got a lot of grant and opportunity to move the program forward, which we did.
Right. So let's back up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. So this became a summertime youth program, a free program, correct?
Correct.
So youth of the community could sign up, and how long does this program run, for instance? Or...
So usually it runs for 6 weeks in the summer, and it's a year-round program where we do rec activities throughout the years, basketball, volleyball, depending what the officers want to do with the children after school. So we do a lot of different things as well. And just to go back to the initial years, we started off as a basketball program on Morris Street during the summer. Project Bread was huge, as in we were considered a hungry community in Southbridge. So they were offering grant money to run basketball programs or to get kids to a location where they could feed them breakfast and lunch.
Right, so encourage them to come and do a little bit of sports, and hopefully they would get a quality meal.
So at that time, I took advantage of that opportunity and created a summertime basketball program Monday through Friday for 6 weeks. We had about 6-7 teams. So we had about 110 kids showing up to play basketball. Wow. But meanwhile, we're feeding them breakfast and lunch during the school hours during the summer, which Project Bread loved that,
So they've helped to fund, they funded all the meal portion of it, and volunteers funded the Cops and Kids program, basically.
They paid for all the meals, and also they gave us grant money to buy equipment. So we bought the shirts, the trophies. This armory is equipped with basketball hoops, kind of industrial type portable basketball hoops that were paid through the grant. Nice. We saw the need after that year. We had 100 kids showing up that we had the opportunity that the state was selling this building, the armory. So we started an after-school program here. We were fortunate enough to get the governor down. It was Patrick Duvall at that time, and then view the program in action. At that point, it was an after-school program Monday to Friday. The armory was for sale for $700,000, which the town had already purchased it. He turned around to us and saw the program. He said, "We're going to sell it to the town for $1." Wow. So at that time, Cops and Kids had his home.
That's
so
amazing.
This became home to the Cops and Kids program since, early 2000s.
Right. So we go forward a little bit. I know that former Senator Moore had some input in helping out with grant money for a few years, and that helped to fund you. But then I remember long about the 2008-2009 time, there was real concern that the program just didn't have enough funding, because even though you have volunteers and Project Bread and such, there were costs involved, and there were times you had to pay people to be the leaders in this program. Correct? Correct.
So the first 3 years went pretty smooth. Senator Moore secured a 3-year grant for us, so we were able to do the program, after school program, for 3 years. After that, the grants kind of dried up. So at that time, Denise Clemence and Monique Manna were huge.
Now, stop.
Were huge in promoting or pushing us to do fundraisers for the program. And that really opened the door for us to go from grants to fundraisers. And this program has really run on fundraisers since back 2008. It's all been funded through fundraising. We did a car show that was huge in the airport. We drew a lot of people, made a lot of money. We moved to golf tournaments. We did different things. We started off with the Roaring 20s, jails and bail. That was a fun time. So we actually raised all the money for this program through fundraising. So I'm very proud of that.
Well, you should, because you put in a lot of time and energy off hours yourself. I mean, while some of your time is on hours, most of what you've done for these children and for this program has been off hours. I mean, I've seen you work weekends and nights and days and people nonstop. So to you, Deputy Chief, because without you, this program could not have continued as it has, serving up to 150 kids, correct, each summer? You have a limit pretty much about 150.
We do about 150 kids each summer. Being with vacations and things of that nature, we probably average about 110 kids.
And as you said before, this has grown so much more than just a sports program. You bring in all types of leaders of the community and beyond this community to speak with the kids and teach the kids different aspects of life skills and such. Can you give us a few examples of some of the things that you provide for the different ages that are in this program?
So I always believe that it takes a village to raise a child. So Southbridge, we had all these resources, and then I had this pool of kids coming in for the summer. So these agencies need these kids, so I reached out to them. I had UWINK helping out, Family Connections. I had Harrington Hospital coming down doing CPR lessons. We did resume classes. We tapped into the school part of it, had tutoring. We do crime prevention. Obviously, we do everything from fingerprinting to just telling them I had a course called Street Law, just educating the kids on what's right, what's wrong, you know. It's simple as I'm throwing a snowball in the middle of winter, I hit a car, the car gets in an accident, it comes back to you. Kids might not even put that together at that age. So we're able to bring all these resources in, hygiene classes. I could go on and on and on for over the 20 years we've done classes, we've gotten creative. And one thing that we do as an incentive is every week I try to do at least four field trips a year, and it's based on attendance in those classes. So the kids are able to come down, you know, take the classes and get credit to go to the field trips. And the field trips were Six Flags, Brownstone Park. We've gone to the White Mountains, with the list of aquariums. We've gone everywhere, you know, because the program has been well funded. So we were able to take 100 kids out to Six Flags. Imagine going out to Six Flags with not just your family, all your friends, and being able to, so that was always a big hit. And, you know, I had a lot of cops that, you know, invested in the program, and, you know, these kids got to see these police officers as human beings, not just a guy in the uniform. Hey, this guy's funny, this guy's fun. You know, he's playing basketball with us, he's doing things of that nature. So that's comes to play. That breaks down huge walls between community and police. We become part of the community when we take care of your kids. Now I go on a call at night, right? When I used to work midnights, I used to work the program at night and then work midnights. I had the families knowing that, hey, this is the guy who, you know, is with my son all day, is taking them up to the White Mountains field trips. So, you know, they're able to talk to you. You know, this is what's happening in the neighborhood. This is what we need help with. So that wall comes completely down, and we become a community. We become one.
And it's interesting because a number of years back, well before what's going on now out there in the world with policing and what's happened the last few years, sadly, but way before that, when there were issues, and they were continually, it was in the news a lot of times where they were encouraging police to connect with the youth of the communities, but Southbridge was already there. Southbridge was already ahead of the curve in forming those relationships, as you say, between police and community. And I think that, as you say, that's certainly been a benefit to our community at large and to the police force too, because I can only imagine that those relationships help you, as you said, to fight crime, right? To get to where's the real story here with what you're investigating, perhaps. So
I came to policing in an era that was the community policing era, where, you know, community policing was the concept of us walking around in neighborhoods. That was the extent of community policing. And I always thought there was more to it. You know, there's more than just to walk around the neighborhood. I grew up in a neighborhood where I would look out the window and there was a cop outside. that
And
wasn't
all that
coming-
puts you at attention. Whoa, wait a minute, there's a cop
Correct.
there. It didn't mean you felt good about it.
That honestly didn't make me feel
Right,
like we were connected. It made me feel like we were being watched.
right. More intimidation.
It was an intimidation to me. You know, I grew up in what was labeled the 600 block in town when I was a kid. I have stories when I walk out of my building, I got surrounded by police, searched for drugs. My parents are watching out the window, wondering what their kids into, and it, you know, it really put a bad taste in policing in my mind, in my mouth, because that's the interactions I had with police that were negative at all times, right? So nowhere in my scope did I ever think I was going to become a police officer. It was just, you know, it was meant to be. My wife now, when we were dating, I was at Worcester State, picked up a police application and said, you probably make a good police officer. I looked at her, I hate police, you know? And next thing you know, I'm a police officer, but I never forgot the way I felt, you know? I got a couple other stories where police really made me feel like I was a nobody. So when I stepped into this police uniform and I had the opportunity to work with Officer Rosa, he was doing cops and kids dances and playing basketball with the kids, it just opened up another avenue for me saying we could do more. And truthfully, 25 years later, we did do more, and I'm very proud where we're at as a police department. We got a lot of great police officers that work with the community, that just don't wear this uniform. They're part of the community. They grew up in the Cops and Kids program. They became staff. They went off to college. They came back this summer to become staff. And I'm proud to say we have numerous police officers that were in the program that are now police officers and are giving back that same thing. So it's that cycle that we created at SPD that I'm very proud of.
I've seen that. I've witnessed that myself. There are police officers that were friends with my sons and daughters, and that did go through the program, as you say, and are now working and protecting my community, our community. So yeah, it's quite amazing. That, and also the service industry. I've known of stories of some of your participants, I should say, going on into the military side of things, coming back, working a summer or two for the program, and going back and doing, you know, whatever else it is they need to do in their life. So it certainly has created a giving sense in making people be responsible for their community. It's
hard to weigh in at how effective the program truly is with all the little things. This kid actually had a conversation with a police officer, and next thing you know, his life changed. You really can't prove that, you know. One thing, when I was coming to program at 7 a.m. in the morning, in the middle of July, and seeing kids walk into the program, when truthfully at that point we had a tardy issue at schools, because I was a school resource officer and I was working on that. But yet a summer program at 7 a.m. had a line waiting out the door for the kids to get into the program. And the night before, I'm seeing on Facebook, hey, going to bed, and it's about 8 o'clock night. I got an early morning going to Cops and Kids, peeps. See you tomorrow. So to me, that was saying a lot. The kids showing up, the kids going to bed at the right time, instead of being out there at midnight causing havoc, but they're too tired out and they want to participate in the program, that they show up at 7 a.m. in the morning. So that shows a lot. You know, we can't say, you know, I changed this person's life, I changed this person's life, but it does do a lot. You know, those conversations police officers have that day, that whole summer they had with the police officer. You know, so I think it goes a long way.
I couldn't agree more. I also, you know, I'm a number of things that I believe in as raising children, 5 of my own. You know, you say you can't prove this, but you can, you know, if you didn't do anything, then you certainly would have nothing to even be in consideration. So, you know, you offer it, and children want rules. They want someone to care enough to tell them right and wrong and yes and no. I truly believe that. Hence, they keep coming back to Cops and Kids program, because they really do need that. And at times, parents are working, they get caught up in life, and it's really difficult. You're like a safety net in the summertime, this program. And I think if you have that opportunity to get your kids involved in this program, you should take it, because I've seen the difference in the years that I've been around watching it. And certainly you've lived it. So that's pretty incredible. It also, let's talk a little bit more just about when it comes time to supporting this program. There are many ways that people can support the program. Certainly a monetary gift would not hurt. It's a 501(c)(3) program, as it is part of the community. It's part of the town of Southbridge in that respect, that if you want to make a monetary donation, you certainly can. But there are other ways too, whether it's giving your time, your energy. You talked about some of these groups, people that have come in for trainings. You've had businesses come in to teach, how to get a job, how to apply for a job, because the age range, I don't think we discussed that. What is the age range again?
We do 11 if you're entering the 7th grade. So you're 6th grade entering the 7th grade. So 11 to about 15, 16. Right. And what's good about that as well, I run it's called Youth Work Project, that they actually hire a certain amount of kids to be kind of campers and role models. So I have 16, 17-year-olds that are role models for my program, and they're working to help us clean up and things of that nature. So it goes basically, and then the college students come back and work for me. So it goes from 11 to about 16.
Right. So again, you can get involved if you have a business or you're in a profession that you think might be helpful in that sense. You can get in touch with the deputy chief here and set something up to come in once, an hour, whatever time you could give to assist the children and teach them, the young people of our community, to give them a step up, the next step that might make all the difference. You never know. Without trying, you won't know that. So, and as far as donations and such, again, it's all 501(c) here. So anything you can do, participate in the fundraisers, those types of things.
So the money goes directly into the town account, where then it's PO'd out. So everything's safe, and your money goes right to an account, is accounted for by the town.
And speaking of that, a lot of people don't know this. While it goes to the town, because it has to be overseen by the municipality, and the town does give the ability of using this building. Other than that, we don't ask the town for any money.
Correct.
The taxpayers aren't paying for this. Correct. It is all by virtue of fundraising and the generosity of those who come forward. So I think it's important to know.
Close to 25 years of just self-funding this program. Yeah. So it's, I have to give, the thanks to our sponsors year after year. Our two biggest sponsors have been the United Lens and the Heights Dexter Charitable Fund. They've always been there year after year with some significant donations. They're the foundation of our program, and without them, we wouldn't be where we're at today. So, I thank them for it. And then we have all the other sponsors that could go on forever. But the whole village, the whole Southbridge village has come forward to support this program. I never fall short. If I need something, they come and give it.
We see it time and time again. And, anybody who has ever participated in anything, whether you've bought a raffle ticket, whether you've gone to the golf tournament, or whether you've just written a check because you feel generous.
Correct.
That is support for this. That is support for one child, for all the children. So it certainly is an endeavor that is, as you said, the village, the whole community, and beyond. We have a lot of supporters from outside of the boundaries of Southbridge. We go beyond the boundaries for this program. So, but this has been really enlightening. Is there anything else you can think of that you would like the audience to know? Actually, so how do we do it? How do they get their kids signed up for this program?
So right now it's actually registration period. So I open up registration probably early May to early June. And you just come down to the police station and just fill out an application and sign off. And if your kid fits the criteria of age, grade, he or she will be accepted.
Okay. And the program this year is going to run, at this point, do you know how many days or how it's going to work?
We actually are doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
And actually Wednesday will be our pool day, so we go down to the state pool and enjoy our day there. Tuesday is usually our classroom day. We have all the activities going on, from life skills to hygienes to whatever we decide to bring in, like the community. You said, reaching out to community. We have done aerobics, yoga. We've done everything. And there'll be some pictures running through. You'll see how active this program is. We do tie-dye shirts. I could just go on and on forever. We do a lot. We're very creative. Very, very creative. We had slip and slide day once where public safety and uniform the kids or somebody would sponsor them and they would have to do a slip and slide in uniform. We raised for $4,000 for that.
Wow.
Southbridge Credit Union sponsored that, so that was great.
And you have social media. How can they find out information in general after they've
Just
watched this?
look up our Facebook page. We're very active during the program with our Facebook page. So Southbridge Cops and Kids Facebook page. Join the Facebook page and you'll get all the alerts.
Very good. Well, again, it has been an honor actually to be here and to hear more. I mean, every time we talk about the program, which we do quite often, it seems, during the year, there's just always something new that I learn. And today is no different. It's great to hear stories. It's great to just be reminded of how important something like this is, and all that you and your staff, all the volunteers and paid people bring to this community. I don't know what else we could do here that helps the youth. I mean, there are other opportunities for youth in this community at times, whether they can go to a YMCA program or to a library program or to some other type of program. But not all are free, and not all encompass what you do, and to form those relationships with
I think originally the stigma on the Cops and Kids program, cops and kids, you know, it was, oh, these are for the bad kids or whatever. So we have a very diverse program. I love it. We have honor roll students to, the kid that gets in trouble once in a while, but they all feed off each other and become, by the end of some of the great kids. I go to places and they compliment us like, oh, your group is so well behaved, you know? And it's because of the diversity,
we should have more pride in our youth and our community in general, because Southbridge is a great place to be, and you are a fine example. Cops and Kids program is a fine example of what we have to offer here in Southbridge. So thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you for tuning in. This is Southbridge Community Television, signing off.